everyone, it's Tuesday and I'm Lori and you're watching the Beaver Bunch. Little did you know. Just kidding, you knew. So this week we're talking about questions that we get asked specifically as lesbians or however we identify and how they make us feel and which ones we hate and which ones we get a lot and blah blah blah. And so I want to preface this by saying that most of the time when I'm asked really stupid questions about being gay, it's usually when I'm at the bar and they're strangers and they've been drinking. So I know that I am not the only poster child for the gays, much like the person, the douchebag typically, asking me these questions is also not the typical heterosexual specimen. Because recently I had an experience where I was talking to a young gentleman at a bar who happened to be sitting next to me. I was like, I'm here with my fiance. No big deal. Not gonna make a deal out of it. Sip my drink. Lovely little lady drink. And he's like, so you're sure you don't like the dick? And okay, so for me, I could probably laugh that off. Honestly, I could probably laugh that off and just feel like, wow, this guy's a really big idiot. If I am receptive to it or cool about it, then it would be a learning opportunity. Kind of like what Jess was saying and Sophia had found. He should know that that is offensive. People need to know that some of these questions are offensive, but that you're willing to answer them too. So I think that that's like typically what I say when I am approached with a stupid question. And I encourage you to do the same because people do need to know etiquette. Some people just need to like have a little like 101 course of like what's okay, what's the terminology, what's the acceptable things to be talking about, or because I feel like a lot of times as gay people the questions we're asked are super personal. I think anything that you ask somebody about sex or fertility, I just feel like is so not your business. It is so not your business, but it is like one of the only ways to learn. And likewise when you're asked about sex, who's the man, who's the woman, it's like you're really not getting it. And maybe you do need me to, although I think you're asking a really stupid question, to not make you feel that way, just so you can kind of still hear what I'm saying and we can have a two-way, like to say, you know, asking a lesbian which one is the man kind of defeats the purpose, and it's kind of like asking chopsticks which is the fork. Think about it. And like when people are like, oh, who's gonna wear the dress at the wedding, it's like we can do it more than one way. It's not just your way. It's not just the straight way. I feel like if people knew what lesbians were like, they would understand that they have to get creative. And they happen to be very thrifty, I think, in a lot of situations because, you know what, they haven't had to follow that, like, binary, like, heterosexual model because they're gay. They are like, exempt from a lot of the rules. Like, you don't have to pick out who does what or who has to do what. It's like you kind of get, it's kind of like up for dibs, I think, in most situations. So I think that those situations, kind of like Jess said, are learning opportunities, total learning opportunities, but also like people are not going to learn. And if you address them and are like angry to them or are like rude back to them, like you kind of do represent the gays. So like if they have a limited experience with gay people, you are it. So like I really do say like be patient, maybe even more so than you would be, because if people are talking to you, it's like it's good. If they're not like, oh my god, you're going to hell, I'm gonna call my priest and have an exorcism done right now, then you know what, they're actually open to a dialogue. So I'd say you have a good thing. And just for them to know that it's not the only way and it's not like, you know, I don't know, I just think it's good overall. So hopefully in those situations you can maybe understand where they're coming from or figure out where they're coming from. Maybe that's the questions you could ask them, like, it's 2012, how come it says on your watch, how can you not know gay people, or how can you not know how lesbians have sex? Haven't you ever seen porn? Not that porn's accurate. Okay, you know, different things. It's like, you know, this isn't the Stone Ages. We have technology. If they're really that curious, they can Google pretty much any question that they have. So maybe put that up to them. Be like, you know what, you need like a pre-study session before we have this conversation, and see if they could gain something on the interwebs, because that's where everyone gets their questions. Maybe somebody was told to go to the internet and they found this video. Maybe you're here because of that. Congratulations. You stumbled upon a doozy. So I hope that this helps. But just, be open-minded. If they are, then you should be. And if they're not, then maybe be a bigger person and also still be. So the high road. Always take the high road. And I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.